Hello and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year everyone. This is the first video that I'm filming in the new year. Well, first official sit down, lights on, mic on kind of video. And today I wanted to show you some new plants that I got. But these plants are quite a bit different to the plants that I'm used to. These are aquatic aquarium plants and I've never cared for aquarium plants ever before. So this is a new venture, a new change, and I'm really excited to show these plants to you. A little bit of a background on this. Some of you may or may not know that I used to have a yellow-bellied turtle that I had since I was 11 years old. So she was really, really old. Had her almost my entire end of childhood, teenage and adult life. And in the last couple of years, she was very ill and was battling multiple different issues with her eyes and infections and all just sad old pet stuff. And unfortunately last year she passed away in August. And so I have this giant tank that was, you know, for her and had a purpose-built kind of top on the aquarium to allow her like her own basking area that she could climb up on and bask. If you don't know, turtles kind of need to bask in some hot sun, which helps them with a million different things like digestion and drying out their shell, having a healthy shell. They need UV light, blah 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 blah. So the light that she has also is a UV light and provides heat but can grow plants. So I did have some kind of neon pothos that were out of her reach but on top of this, and that's probably as far as it goes for plants. Now she was an extremely boisterous girl and was not friendly to any sort of prop or plant or ornamental anything inside the tank with her. Over the years I tried many different things. We've tried big logs, we've tried sand, we've tried plants, I've tried moss, I've tried plants tied to rocks, I've tried a million different things with her, and she always just used to mess it up. She used to either eat them. Obviously they were okay plants for her to eat, they weren't toxic to her, but it would create a lot of mess in the tank. It would clog up the filter. It would just create fucking chaos. And then also when her eyes started getting quite bad, the vet advised me that it was better to have the tank kind of as plain as possible, which is not the most natural environment for an animal like that to be in, but it was a way of maintaining or at least eliminating anything that could be interfering with her eyes, like grit, like sand, like objects she could poke into, because her vision also started to go. So we had a very bare environment for her, essentially. And now, since she's passed, I haven't really been able to bring myself to do anything with that tank. Now, I have done a couple of water changes and kept the filter running and kept it all running because I didn't want it to go bad, but I just wasn't mentally ready to deal with it at all, and also wanted to give myself time to think about what I would like to do with that going forward. At this time I am not in a position to get another turtle. I don't think I ever would again, to be honest. They're incredibly difficult animals to take care of. They require a lot of time and care and also money. Quite expensive because the water temperature has to be correct. You need heaters. They create a lot of waste when it comes to keeping anything in a tank environment. There's a lot of water changes. For the last like 2 or 3 years, it was daily 50% water changes. Like, it was a lot. So I don't think mentally I'd be able to undertake that again. It was advised to me that I should consider taking in a rescue because there are very few people that kind of know how to care for an animal like that, especially sick ones. But just not at this time. It's not the time for me to do something like that. But that leads me on to where I am with what I want to do with this tank. So kind of in her honor and in a way that is quite ironic. I really want to at least plant some plants in this tank and give a go at caring for aquatic plants. So over the last couple of months, I've done a lot of research on kind of how to do this. What's the setup? What's the substrate? Blah, 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 blah. How do you actually care for plants in water? I had a kind of a background understanding of that, but I've never tried it, which is obviously hugely different in practice. And so I have big plans for the tank. My first step was to buy a couple of aquarium plants that are pretty known to be easy enough to care for, and I'm just leaving them in there without any substrate or any other changes, and just to see how they do. So this is kind of my experiment without fully doing the tank setup or fully getting all the plants. I want to give myself a bit of a trial period. So that is what this video is for. There will be upcoming videos in this project, I guess, where I will be gathering the supplies to redo the tank over the next while. It is quite expensive, so I'm kind of spacing it out over time. So it's not a huge lump sum at once, but it's a very big tank, so it will require a lot more plants than I have at the moment. It will require aquatic soil, probably some sand, probably some wooden features and some rock features as well. And just to think about how I really want that to look and what materials to get before I actually do it. So more exciting ones to come, but let me just show you the plants that I got. I got these from a Irish online, I think they have an in-person shop as well, but they're called Newlands Garden Centre. They sell a lot of aquarium plants and various things like that online, as well as some garden stuff. So if you want to check them out, that's where I got these from. I was very interested to see how they would arrive, being aquarium plants, and they arrived in a lot of plastic to keep obviously some water and humidity in, and they were quite warm as well, I found, even though we've been having a cold spell. So that was interesting to see the setup of that. It's probably a lot more difficult to transport these in ways not using plastic, I would assume, but it is what it is. So in total, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plants. I got 8 plants. I got 2 of them I got duplicates of, ones that I quite liked and thought would be good for taking up space. I kind of didn't really know how big these were going to be as well. I wanted to get a feel for that versus the price, because I definitely think this tank requires, you know, a small number of larger plants to kind of take up background and things like that, and put them in the background of the tank. I think that would look really nice. The current lighting setup I have was really for her basking area, and this bulb is suitable to grow plants under. It does have UV and it does have heat actually as well, so you have to keep your distance, but I don't think that this is as suitable for the setup that I want, so I'm thinking of getting a new aquarium light that is just kind of a minimalist, across the full top kind of light. So I'm looking for something suitable for that, so that it can distribute the light more evenly and also look a bit more aesthetically pleasing than the kind of clamp on light that I have. And I'll probably repurpose that in the plant room for some kind of artificial light bulb. I always like to give a bit of a background on plants, especially when I'm doing a haul or introducing some new plants to my collection. So for transparency, the information I get about these plants I get from places like Plants of the World Online from Kew Gardens is a fantastic resource, a scientific resource where you can look up accepted species, year of publication, and what botanist was involved in the first publication of those species, information on native ranges, herbarium photos, things like that. It's a fantastic way to research new plants that you have. So in this group of plants that I got Microsorm pteropus, and I got 2 different cultivars of this plant. The first cultivar is called Trident and the second is called Windelov. Now, when you look up this plant online, you find out that it seems to have been reclassified as Leptochilus pteropus. So the original Microsorum version was first published in 1929. Then it was changed to Leptochilus in 2008. The native range of this plant is the tropical and subtropical regions of Asia. So it's used to a wet tropical biome, and it's known to grow either on rocks or on marshy semi-aquatic habitats. So this is also known, I believe, as a Java fern, which is, to be honest, what I've seen as one of the most common aquarium plants out there. It seems very easy to care for, it grows quite quickly, it's very easily and freely available, and it's also quite cheap in general because of its availability and being found everywhere. But there are also so many different cultivars out there. I particularly love the two that I got on the website, and I think these are really, really beautiful, and I think as they grow longer and bigger could be just absolutely gorgeous. The next one is Ludwigia palustris, which is also known as, its common names, marsh seed box, Hampshire purslane, or water purslane. It was first published in 1919, and it is a synonym of Ludwigia ascendens var. Ascendens. So I believe that is actually the proper name for this plant. Its native range is tropical and subtropical Asia, northern Australia, Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. It is called a hydro subshrub in a wet tropical biome, which hydro, water, subshrub, I assume is a smaller type of shrub. And it's an aquatic or semi-aquatic perennial herb as well, it's actually described as. So this is a really beautiful plant. I love the shape of the leaves, the tall stems, and the color of this plant. So I actually picked up two of these and I think they fit in really nicely. Anubias gracilis, first published in 1939. It is native to Guinea and Liberia and Sierra Leone. It's described as a perennial in a wet tropical biome. Interesting thing about this one, even though it is in the aquarium hobby, seems to be incredibly popular as a plant, incredibly common, freely available, all of that stuff, quite cheap. It is actually listed on the IUCN Red List as vulnerable in the wild, which is quite interesting, and seems to be, yeah, the area that it's native to is quite confined, it seems, and it's described as an extant population, which essentially means that it is surviving in the wild, but it may not be actively reproducing or replenishing its population fast enough. So kind of that it's on its way. It could be on its way to being extinct, but it is still surviving. Anubias angustifolia, probably even more common than the Anubias gracilis in terms of the aquarium community. It's available almost in, I would argue, in most shops that sell any aquarium plants, they probably have this plant. Apparently known to be super easy to care for, very exciting. Actually is properly called Anubias barteri var. Angustifolia, so it's a variety or a cultivar of Anubias barteri. So barteri was actually first published in 1860, but Anubias barteri var. Angustifolia was first published in 1979. It grows in a wet tropical biome, and it is native to Guinea and Cameroon, and it is also a perennial. Alternanthera reinecki rosanervig. That's a huge mouthful. So rosanervig tells me that it is a cultivar, common names water hedge, which I quite enjoy. That maybe that means if you cut it back it will become thicker, more hedgerow-like, I'm not sure. Known to have several different cultivars, seems to be used to create lots of different colourful hybrids and cultivars. This is an aquatic and semi-aquatic plant known to colonise marshes, stream banks and ponds. Species was first published in 1899. Native to Bolivia, to Brazil, North Argentina. It is an annual, it says. Not sure if that is true in an kind of fake aquarium environment, but we will see, and it is native to seasonally dry tropical biomes. Now, the interesting thing about this one, habitat-wise, is quite different to the other plants that I have picked up, this seems to be, yeah, it's used to a different kind of climate, more kind of South Central America. So we'll see how that goes. This one worries me in terms of care. It doesn't seem as easy to care for as the other ones from researching online at least, but we will see how it goes. Although, that being said, I think this is my favorite one of the bunch that I picked up, so let's hope it actually does well. So those are the plants that I have picked up. I'm really excited about these. They've been in the tank for about a week now. I am going to do a little bit of a water change, and always good to be testing your water, because that's going to tell you what's going on, because clear water does not mean clean water, or at least balanced water. So gonna keep an eye on these for the next while I pick up the other materials I need to kind of complete this setup. So there will be further videos on this. I hope that you're interested in it. It is quite exciting, I think, because, you know, it's a different kind of avenue down indoor plant care, to be honest. It's a whole different world, it's a whole different learning experience, the types of plants you can pick up, but also the care for these, it's quite amazing. So I'm really excited about it. Maybe I will become obsessed with this. We don't know yet, but a new adventure that I'm very excited about. I'm very excited to learn about it. If you are someone that cares for aquarium plants, or has experience of this, and you have any tips for me, please leave them in the comments below. Also, since I haven't bought any materials for the setup, let me know what you think of that down below, or if you have any suggestions, places to go for information, or just personal experiences. I would be very happy to learn about anything to do with that. So, that being said, it is the 14th of January, and therefore it is the day that I announce the winner of my little giveaway. So my last video, I didn't advertise in the title or anything, but inside that video was a little giveaway, and quite a few of you entered. Thank you so much for all your entries. I really enjoyed hearing about why plants are important to you and what you love about caring for plants. It's really such a beautiful thing. Everybody has such a personal experience about plants and what they can do for us mentally as well, and it's just it was so lovely to read all of your stories, so thank you for all of your entries. The day I'm filming this is not the 14th, so I will be announcing the winner on the screen right now, which I will edit in. So if you are the winner of the giveaway, can you please email me at this address and tell me that you've won? After that point, I will then reply to you and give you a code, a specialized code from me. You will then go back to your original comment on the video, edit it and insert that code and let me know that you've done so. That's the only way I can verify that you are actually the person that is emailing me that is linked to the account that won. Which is, I know, a very awkward roundabout way to do that, but once that's done, we can get your address and send you a little planty gift from me. This is just as a little thank you for all of your support on the channel over the last while. I really, really appreciate it and wanted to have some way to give back to you guys. So thank you so much. And also thank you so much to my lovely patrons for supporting me this month. I appreciate you so, so, so much. Thank you to Michael, Amy, Grace and Yaindi for all of your support. Thank you so, 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 so much. And I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye.